Hello, buddy, and welcome to Where Are They Now? This is brought to you by Malibu Clothes. Get your suits right here at the Malibu Clothes building in Beverly Hills. Today's guest is a former Major League Baseball player, had a great 12-year career. He started his career with the Toronto Blue Jays and then ended his last 4 years with the New York Yankees. Please, everybody, welcome Jesse Barfield. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, doing great, man. Glad to be here.
You got drafted in the ninth round. Talk to
Yep.
me about that.
Well, I got drafted ninth round, 233rd overall, if that matters. Huge signing bonus, $7,500.
That's not bad for 1977.
No, that was terrible. But at least, they came to me at first and they offered me $2,500, and I laughed because I had a nice scholarship at Bradley University in Peoria, and I was also going to study drafting. I love architecture, and they said, "Wait, that's not our final offer." I said, "Well, that's all you can do. I'm going to college. You can forget about it." So they came back and offered me $7,500. It matched my scholarship with another $7,500 later. So I said, "Okay, I'm going to give it a shot." Blue Jays don't have a ton of superstars. I'm going to give it a shot.
So now, when you got drafted, you made your first major league debut. It was at Comiskey Park in 1981. You actually got a hit. You went 1 for 4. Am I correct?
Yes, absolutely. But the story doesn't start there. I was actually 13 years old, and I used to go up with the Joliet Boys Club. I hung out there a lot, being from Joliet, Illinois. And I'm up at the upper deck with my buddies Rick, Don, and the rest of the boys. And we used to sit up in the right field upper deck area. That was our section. And I'm looking out there, Eddie, and I told the guys, no joke, I said, "Man, one day I'm going to be playing." Okay, I said it like this. "Man, one day I'm going to be playing right up there. You watch." They looked at me like, "You got to be kidding. No way. Come on. This chump thinks he's going to be playing out there." The trainer, Tommy Craig, goes, "Skipper wants to see you." So I go in the office. I'm thinking I didn't break curfew or anything. I'm in trouble here. So I walk in, he said, "Congratulations, man. You got called up to the show." I said, "Man, quit playing." He said, "Jesse, I'm not joking. Congratulations." So we sat there and talked for a minute. And I asked him, I said, "Skip, where's the team playing now? Where are they now?" He said, "Well, they're in Arlington at the beginning of a road trip, and you're going to meet them in Chicago." I said, "What?"
Wow.
And I thought about those guys in the upper deck that day laughing at me, my buddies. So after I called my mom first, you better believe I got on the horn to talk to those guys. They said, "You lying." I said, "I'm telling you, I'm leaving 54 tickets. And those 4 tickets, the 54, you're going to be out there watching." So the game starts, and I hit a ball to short, and I'm thinking, man, first at bat, I got a base hit in the hole. This dude pulled one out of his tail, picked it, threw to first base, made it look easy. Bang, bang, got me, because I could run a little bit back then. So I get back to the dugout. And I guess I muttered it kind of loud. I didn't think I did. I said, "Man, I was a hit in Double-A a couple nights ago."
Right.
And one of the veterans, John Mayberry, said, "Brother, this ain't no Double-A. This is big league. They pick that every night." I said, "Yep, you're right about that." So next at bat, base hit to right center. Drove in George Bell, stole second. And I went on to hit safely in my first 8 games, which a young man tied it this year in Toronto at the start of your career.
Who was the guy that believed in you and said, "You know what, kid, you belong here"? Who gave you that confidence?
Well, it all started with a gentleman you all may know by the name of Bobby Dorr, Hall of Famer. He was my first batting coach.
Wow.
And Bobby talked to me about picking the right pitch, swinging at strikes. And he didn't mess with your mechanics a whole lot. He talked about the mental aspect as well. And then once we made it, there was a gentleman by the name of Cito Gaston.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing. I didn't realize he was Hank Aaron's roommate. So when it comes to hitting, yeah, they were roommates in Atlanta.
Wow.
When it comes to hitting, he knows what he's talking about. So he took me from basically a pull hitter to a guy that can drive the ball to all fields. And I really didn't want to make the adjustments, Eddie, because I was comfortable with the way I was hitting the baseball. On the way out west, I walked up front. I said, "Cito, you have a minute?" I said, "Sure, Jesse, have a seat." I said, "Listen, I don't feel comfortable with these adjustments. I got to go back to the way I was hitting." He looked at me and said something that probably saved my career. He said, Jesse, we see progress. He didn't say I. He let me know right then that although your average is slowly climbing and you're making progress, we obviously have plans for you. We've been talking about you because rumor had it they were going to send me to AAA. I never played AAA. Dude, I was batting 200, and I didn't have a lot of damage to go with it. So he stayed with me, and I said, you really think this is going to work? He said, trust me, it's going to work. Next thing you know, the end of that season, I ended up with 27 home runs with 388 at-bats. I have to trust Cito. I have to listen to people that have been there, get out of my own head, and trust people. And that's what I did.
And trust in your hands.
Absolutely right. No doubt about it. You hit it right on.
You got to trust your hands.
That's huge.
You also shared the outfield with, two great ball players. You had George Bell, Lloyd Mosby. Did you guys take away a lot of hits from these batters back when you played?
Yeah, I would say so, because the one thing about our outfield is we were in sync, like synchronized swimming. We would play not only the actual at-bats, we would actually play the counts. And it was really neat because if we would play a guy straight up, got a right-hand hitter. Obviously, Mo would play on the shortstop side of center field. Mo would play straight up. George would play straight up and left. I play straight up and right. If the batter would get ahead in the count, I'm looking over at Lloyd and George to see if they're shifting. We're all shifting at the same time to the pull field, maybe 2 big steps. If the guy got behind in the count, we're all shifting around to the opposite field 2 steps. I'm looking at these almost, you can set your clock by it. That's how in tune we were to each count, each pitch. And man, there weren't too many things getting through that gap.
Well, you know what? And that's what baseball fans, like, if a person goes to a game and says, yeah, let me just watch a game, they don't see stuff like that. I do. I look for that. I look for the stuff, okay, this guy's a hot hitter the past 3 days. He's ahead of the count, 2-1 count. You know a fastball's coming, or it could be an off speed, but this guy's gearing up for something. A great hitter will do that. So, and I see the outfielders, okay, 2-1 count. They're going a little deep, and it's playing a little slight pull. I see that, and I'm like, other fans, I don't know if they pay attention to that, but they don't see that. They're just looking for the hit.
You're right, Eddie. You hit it right on the head again, because even if a guy has opposite field power, let's say, your mechanics have to be right to use it. And when that guy's hot, like you said, and as an outfielder, you've been around this game a long time, you've seen some great hitters. You can tell the way he takes a pitch. You can tell if that foot is clean. You can tell if that shoulder stays in there a little bit longer. And when you see that, that's the time when you're backing up 2 or 3 extra steps. I actually threw a ball out of Yankee Stadium one time. I'm telling on myself. Ricky Henderson was warming up. He was actually playing center field that day. Umpire rung me up on a ball, and I didn't like the call, obviously. I walked out to right field, and I looked back. He's still looking. So Ricky and I were getting loose, and he's still looking, and I'm ticked. So I took the ball and threw it out of Yankee Stadium, center field. Ricky Henderson and I still talk about this today. He looked at me, looked up where I threw it, and put his head down and walked away. And like Richard Pryor, the comedian, said one time, I wasn't mad no more either. So I had to get some steam. I had to blow some steam off,
Oh, that's classic. You come to the Big Apple, the Pinstripes, the boss. You heard stories. This is where, Jesse, I know you as an opponent, when you come to Yankee Stadium, I know they kill you out there in right center, the fans, okay? Now they're on your side. What do you think of coming to New York now?
Well, I know how tough the fans could be there. They tried everything they could to intimidate us. I remember in '85 we went there, and it was a close race at the end. And they did everything they could getting off the bus. We used to walk through the crowd then. Man, wow. We went downstairs. As soon as batting practice started, infield started, the fans were on you. They were riding you. One time someone threw a battery from the upper deck, a Nectarine hit me in my shoulder one time. I'm like, this is a dangerous place. They try to intimidate you, right? So now I know how they can be, but they're some of the most graceful, I love the New York fans. So I get traded there, and my first at bat off of Gubazov, base hit to left center field. I heard the roar. Right. This is great. I think I go 0 for my next 20, 25 or something. It was terrible. I make a play, threw a guy out, made a diving play, caught a ball off the wall, and the one guy that does the cowbell, that guy, he passed away. He was down by the rail. He said, Barfield, we know about your arm, we know about your defense, we know about all that. And I think I left another guy stranded on third base for less than 2 hours. They're not happy with that. No. He said, but in the Bronx, my friend, you better start blanking hitting. Or we're going to stay on your blankety blank for a long time. I turned around, looked at him, tipped my hat. I said, okay. He was right. Next at bat, I hit a laser in the right center field bleachers. And I came back out, and I tipped my hat to him. And that guy was one of my biggest fans in the right field bleachers. From then on, were my biggest supporters. When I was in a little bit of a funk, man, they were there behind me, backing me, telling me, hey, dude, you know you can do it. Come on.
When you were at Yankee Stadium, right, you had Deion Sanders coming up that year, right? Now, listen, I don't want to be hard on you, but what's up with the Jerry curls, man? There was a lot of grease with you and Deion.
Well, here's the thing. There was a Jerry. See, white folks don't realize this. There was a Jerry curl. There was a Jerry drip.
Okay.
There is a difference.
Well, before you start, it kind of reminded me of the movie Coming to America. Remember that guy with the Jerry curl? You ever see that film?
The Soul Glow. It's called Soul Glow.
Yeah,
with the glycerin, right?
Yeah.
I picked up George Bell's hat one time at the end of the inning, and George, I guess he poured it in his hand instead of. I think he had a one of those pumps inside of his hat where if he feels it's dry, because I picked it up. And I had my batting glove on and grease. Oh, my God. So I would scoop his up differently if I had to pick George's hat up. But I didn't grease mine up.
No.
I did not grease mine. No, sir. There was never grease on my collar.
Give me some stories with Deion Sanders. I go to Yankee games, and I remember Deion, and in between pitching changes, you guys would come to center field. And, Jesse, you always had a smile on your face. And Deion would say something, and you would just die laughing. So what were the stories behind that?
Well, Deion was just starting baseball, and he was raw. Mm-hmm. To see that guy play, man, it was amazing. See him run. Mm-hmm. Inside the park, homers and what have you. We were all kneeling down, and Deion shook his head. He goes, man, I'm quitting. I said, D, man, it's going to be okay. You got a lot of at-bats. Roberto and I are trying to encourage him. He looked over at Roberto and said, man, I'm quitting. That's it. I can't take this. Roberto said, you can't quit. He said, man, I'm a grown man. I can do what I want to do. He said, you can't quit. Roberto said, because that 172 batting average is going to be on your baseball card the rest of your life. You can't quit now. You got to get that up. So I stood up and started laughing. And one of the things about me, if I really get tickled, I can't stay there. I got to run. So I get up and I sprint it towards right field. And I look back at Deion just sitting there like this. Shaking his head like, you guys, that's messed up. But the Deion Sanders, man, I'm telling you, we had a great time with him.
So he loved getting picked on, right? You guys picked on him a lot.
He did. He came in one day telling us, I didn't know how good of an athlete he really was because I wasn't a huge college football fan. Mm-hmm. NFL I love. Right. But he was telling me about a charity basketball game that he stole a ball, went through his legs, did a 360 slam. I'm like, D, come on, man. Stop. Just quit it. Stop lying. He go, I'm not lying. He said, I got film. I said, well, you better bring some film tomorrow. And Donnie looked, he go, yeah, you better bring some. So now he comes in the next day on VHS. And it wasn't one of those Nerf rims, 6 foot regulation size. This guy stole one, went through his legs, did a spin and slam. His elbow was over the rim.
Wow.
And we went to the video room to see this. Oh, when he slammed it, We all went, oh my God. And he looked at us with no smile on his face. He goes, I told you, I got film. And that's where that saying came from, because the older you get, the further that ball went. The older you get, the bigger the fish is. You got to have film.
Right. So let's talk about the boss. May he rest in peace, George Steinbrenner. You had a lot of respect for him. You really,
Yes.
he was the type of guy, he was a man of his word. Tell me some great stories with the boss.
Yeah, he definitely was a man of his word. We're out in the outfield, and we're talking. And I had heard that they moved the fence in for Jack Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I said, well, let me try it at least. They moved it in for Jack, maybe 10 more feet. 399 is a long ways. So I said, George, we have some righties in our lineup that can hit the ball a long ways. Would it be possible to move it in 10 feet? I mean, we wouldn't even be here having this conversation because I hit some balls at the fence that were caught, maybe 10 at least at home that were caught at the fence. We wouldn't even be here having this conversation. And I think of Roberto and a few other guys, same thing. We play half our games at home. He's listening. I said, that would help our offense tremendously. He said, Jesse, if we sign the pitchers we want to sign in the free agent market this year, if we actually land these guys, I'll do it. So we get back home afterwards. And before that, he had this cologne on. And it was amazing. And I said, dude, what kind of cologne do you have on? Just like that. He goes, it's the Baron. I said, the what? He said, the Baron. I said, I've never heard of that. He said, yeah, I bought up all the existing stock. It's no longer available to the public. I said, wow. I said, well, that's some nice stuff, man. So I got home, and I have a big case of it waiting for me. It beat me home. So I remember when I hit my 200th home run against the Seattle Mariners when Griffey made that great catch. I hit 2 off of Johnson. Griffey took my 200, and then I hit another one. I would have had 3 that day. He had a big bottle of champagne in my locker waiting for me. Congrats on career number 200. Keep up the good work. I still have the card. The champagne's been gone, but it was great. And I called the head of the grounds crew, which was one of my friends, and I asked him, I said, did Mr. Steinbrenner talk to you guys about moving the fences in or staking out the fences? He said, matter of fact, he did. He called us, and they were to be moved in 10 feet in left center field. I said, okay. He said, but something about since we didn't sign the pitchers that we want to sign, he said, we can't afford to have those fences moved in with his staff right now. So take the stakes out, leave them at $3.99. But he was a man of his word. He was going to move them in. He had everything prepped and ready to go. I love the guy. He was straightforward. I remember the first speech that I had with him. He was talking to me about what he expected out of me. And I knew they expected a lot in New York. And I'm looking down because there's a photo I'm going to bring up that one of the first days of spring training, I got the speech. And he let me know right away that he expected me to drive in runs. He expected me to hit home runs when they needed it. Not home runs when they needed it.
Right.
It was a great conversation. And I let him know right then and there that I'm one of the guys that loves to play here. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do my job. I'm bringing this picture up right now.
Me being a diehard Yankee fan, I remember, Steinbrenner was the guy, look, get the job done, man. I'm giving you all that money. Yes. Get it done. What's so hard about it? Just get it done. And
I remember when we did the contract, they forgot to put All-Star. All the players get an All-Star incentive. You make the All-Star team, you get $25,000, $35,000, $50,000 or whatever. That's nice Christmas money.
Yeah.
And so I noticed the contract didn't have an All-Star bonus. So I asked my agent to ask the Yankees what was going on, no bonuses. And so my agent said, actually, George himself got on the phone and said, you tell Jesse, as much money as I'm paying him, he should be an All-Star. Wow. I said, you tell George Oh, that was good, man.
That was
I
great.
said, you tell George, yes, sir. I'll take the contract. Thank you.
Your arm strength. I was at a game one time. I remember you caught the ball at Yankee Stadium towards the wall in the foul territory, and then you threw a shot. I don't know who played third at that time. Maybe Pagarulo. And I'm telling you right now, it kind of reminded me of the movie Death Wish when Charles Bronson took his gun out and shot from a mile away. And I'm talking about target, like, bang. The third baseman didn't even move. And you got him out. Like, your son told me, I talked to him this morning because, I do research about you guys. I said, can your dad still throw hard right now? He says, at least late 80s right now, he could still bring it. I'm like, wow. How old are you, Jesse? Don't be shy now.
I'm 54. The only reason why I can still throw is because I throw to the kids at the academy,
Mm-hmm.
on a consistent basis, working with them. We were getting loose, and Paul O'Neill. I love Paulie. He's great. We were in the old timers game, I think 3 years ago or 2 years ago, and Paul was getting dressed with us. So he takes his shirt off, and he's ripped, looking great, like he can still be playing. When he took his shirt off, everybody ripped him a new one. You get your butt out of here. You're showing all of us fat blanks up. No. So he just started laughing. So this year, we were getting loose. And I was loose. I had already thrown, and Paulie came out, and we were throwing the two of us in right field. I said, wow, that's pretty neat. The two right fielders throwing, and I didn't want to go deeper because I didn't want to show Paulie up.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the guy, but I threw short with respect.
Mm-hmm.
But I really needed to stretch it out just a little bit more, just in case somebody ran on me. I wanted to at least unleash one,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't have a chance to do that. So next Old Timers game, I'm going to go out early, maybe take one less round of BP, and I'm going to air it out for the people.
Nice. I can't wait for that. So, Jesse, what are you doing now? You had a great career. Baseball's been great. You're a great dad, great husband. Everybody loves you. What's your life right now? Jesse Barfield wakes up in the morning, then what?
Well, I got to have my Tim Hortons coffee. I love Tim Hortons coffee. I
Okay.
actually have it shipped to me. I love it. And then, in the summertime, we do camps with the Blue Jays.
Mm-hmm.
It's through their Blue Jays Care Foundation. We actually won an award through Major League Baseball for the work we did. And we do that for about 2.5 months, off and on, just the alumni going all over Canada. I do all the Yankees fantasy camps and, of course, the old timers game. I'm at the academy here with the kids, working with them, trying to create some champions.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of fun. I love working with the kids. I speak all over the country, and I'm enjoying being a grandfather and married to my first wife and only wife, of course, almost 32 years.
Very beautiful, your wife, by the way.
Thank
Very
you.
beautiful. If there was a biography, a movie about Jesse Barfield, what actor would you hire to play you?
That's easy. Billy D.
Okay.
Billy D. Come on. Because we were in Milwaukee. Did my wife put you up to this question?
No, I do this all the time.
I'll tell you why I say that. We were in Milwaukee,
Mm-hmm.
and this lady comes up to me, and she goes, "Can I have your autograph?" I said, "Sure." So I signed it. Jesse Barfield, 1986 Major League Home Run Champion, 40 homers, blah, blah, blah. I said, "What's your name, ma'am?" She told me I put it on there. She looked at this. I took all the time to do that. She ripped it up and threw it on the ground. I went, wow. She goes, "I thought you were Billy D. Williams." My wife laughed so hard. I had to laugh too. Eddie.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
So I got to say Billy D. So I look back on some pictures. I guess, we might have been cousins. We kind of favor a little bit.
Yeah.
Billy D.
Well, Jesse, it's been an honor. Seriously, thank you so much for being on my show.